It's Open House Thursday on YourView. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja, Nima, Kashat.
How are you doing today? Good news in the air, but let me just do. Yesterday, a shout out to a fan of us I met at the hospital. I went for a test yesterday, and I cannot remember her name. Sweet girl.
Aww.
And when I was on bed rest, a friend of mine had become coronated as king.
Oh, wow.
I want to say a shout out to His Royal Highness Oba Akiwade Moses Ogundano as Ms. Dionikoyi of Ikoyi Ekiti Kingdom.
Oh, wow.
Congratulations. I got invites. I did not open my messages. Oh. And yesterday I just started the chat and I had missed it. I would have gone for that coronation. This is one of the most decent, most disciplined police officers I knew. Oh. I didn't know his retirement happened earlier in the year. I didn't know the entire event. Everything just passed like that under the bridge, but I'm going to make it up. I might be going to Ekiti very soon.
Hey.
Yes, this officer has been my backup for a long time, disciplining, helping me out.
Yeah.
And all my transactions at the police station were made to
support.
follow the proper protocol. You don't have to pay or settle or do any of those things.
We celebrate you, sir.
Well done, sir.
How are you doing? Tops?
I'm grateful to God. This, good news, good news. We would reserve the announcement officially. But while I was in Singapore, I went for a program, NHN Meet and Greet, and I had the most amazing one-on-one encounter with Tara Feladurotoye and Reverend Funke Felix Adejumo. When you say body of wisdom, on parenting, on marriage, on business. Like as they are talking, you are just speaking. You're wondering, now I understand why you should have a relationship with older people, because the experiences you will hear from them, the things they will say, the prayer points, when they call out prayer points, you're wondering, why would you be thinking on prayer points? It's because of what they have seen. So I'm just celebrating these people, Mama NHN, Mama FFA, and Mama TFD. I have plenty.
Today's her birthday now, NHN. I think today's her birthday.
No. Her birthday was just a few days.
I saw her pictures.
We were in Singapore during her birthday, and I'm celebrating them, and I'm encouraging everybody out there to cultivate relationships with older people, because you would learn a whole lot more than you will learn from gisting with your peers.
Hello, how you doing, American?
I'm feeling Hollywood this morning.
Looking very
glam is
Hollywood
glamming.
this morning.
I am going to take a picture with that.
I love it.
But I want to celebrate Mariah today. Congratulations.
Why are you doing
It's already on social media. Everybody's celebrating her.
Yes,
We'll celebrate her.
okay.
Congratulations, Mariah.
We are celebrating you.
MD. We thank God, yes. We thank Managing Director,
TVC
Entertainment. Congratulations. You've worked really hard. Yes. And there's a way God just sorts you out.
Alignment.
You're always in the flow. There's a way God positions you and sorts you out. And I'm happy that you're humble enough to accept it and do what you're supposed to do. So congratulations, darling.
Thank you.
I wish you all the best.
Yes, thank
this
you. Am I supposed to do it officially?
So now I have bragging rights. Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I've been appointed as the Managing Director at TVC Entertainment, which is the entertainment arm of TVC Communications, starting tomorrow. So I'm going to assume that position.
Congratulations.
And we thank God for it. I'm excited. I spoke with the team yesterday. We're going to just get there's so many changes we're going to do, but I'm looking forward to taking total control of the terrestrial platforms and the entertainment industry. And we're going to be focusing especially on tourism. Really excited about the new prospects, and we'll be doing so many things in the industry.
Did you hear?
Done.
Total control of the terrestrial television. When we prophesy it on national television to the world, it's done.
It's done.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, look at the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Defense, education, health, top Tinubu's 27.5 trillion naira budget. Ayedatiwa to preside over Ondo Exco meeting today. Old, new naira notes remain legal tender indefinitely. 2022 floods caused $9.12 billion damage, says NBS report. Aviation unit in blame game over flight diversion to Asaba. JAM releases timetable for 2024 UTME, and 25 die in Kwara accident. Okay, which story starting with?
So Ayedatiwa will be today, sitting as head of the ESCO meeting in Akure, according to The Nation. They said those state executive council will hold this meeting today, and the deputy governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, will preside over the meeting. And it will be his first since all this wahala started between himself, but following the peace deal reconciliation that was done by the president, he will be able to come and sit at that and chair the ESCO meeting.
Acting.
So the Commissioner for Information said he will be chairing it as vice chairman.
Deputy governor.
No, it's deputy governor, but he will be chairing as vice chairman of the ESCO meeting, not as chairman of the ESCO meeting. So they cause, they want to speak English.
They want to rewrite the law.
Yes, and so the Nation says that report is that he has returned to Akure from Abuja, where he went since all the House of Assembly impeachment drama started. And so we'll see, following tomorrow, we'll see how the outcome goes.
Okay, so the much anticipated budget has been presented, and defense, human capital development, healthcare, education top the list of priorities for the budget with the 27.5 trillion naira estimate. It was presented by the president to a joint session at the National Assembly yesterday. The budget is called the Budget of Renewed Hope, which is predicated on the exchange rate of 750 naira to the dollar, an oil benchmark of $77 per barrel, and an oil production estimate of 1.78 million barrels per day. The president said that the deficit, that there's going to be a bit of deficit, about 13.7 trillion naira. He said that the projected deficit is about 9.1 trillion, which is more than the 13.7, which is lower than 13.7 trillion in 2023 budget. He said that the president said it will be financed through the new borrowings totaling 7.8 trillion and 298 billion to raise from privatization proceeds and so much more. But we're really excited that finally the budget has been presented. The government highlighted the sectoral allocations to various ministries. Minister of Budget was there yesterday. And listen, this is something Nigerians are waiting for, because education and healthcare are two key things, two key areas, and Nigerians are desperately hoping to see some real, tangible and visible changes in 2024. So hopefully with this priority, we can see some real changes.
So I have the cash story. I've been following up on this, because anything that will not allow me to have cash this period is not will not be tolerated. So yesterday, the Supreme Court, had to lay, to rest the anxiety over. We've been having anxiety over the fact that, are we going to continue with, both legal tenders, the old and the new together, or are they going to finally phase it out as they had promised 31st of December? But, they had the final judgment yesterday, and they said the federal government has finally allowed the two legal tenders to be in circulation, yes. And this is going to last as long as, except of course the federal government decides later. They have the discretion to decide later. And before they do that, they're going to have a meeting with all of the stakeholders and make sure that every facility that is needed to, phase out the old notes are in place before they can change it. But for now, we can go ahead using our old notes, the 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1,000 naira notes alongside the new notes. So nobody should be holding any cash anymore. You can use both till further notice.
So the aviation units are in a blame game. A little drama happened on, wasn't it little drama? I'm sure those that were in the plane did not see it was little, because they were going to Abuja but ended up in Asaba. And all the acronyms that exist in the aviation industry, they are speaking. National Association of Aircraft Pilots and Engineers, NAPE, that's represented by Abenego Galadima, has expressed worry over the development. He said it portrays the aviation industry in bad light and it constitutes serious safety security tendencies. However, the National Air Traffic Control Association, NATCA, has warned the Flight Dispatch Association of Nigeria, FLIDAN, against making allegations that could impede the investigation by NACA, that's Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. All the acronyms have come out, and the conversation is the flight was redirected. And
who is taking responsibility?
They said that the National Air Traffic Controller Association has said that the National President, Yomi Agoro, has accused Flidan and other people that are making comments that flight direction changes. People can change flight direction mid-flight, and that they should allow NACA, that's the Nigerian Aviation Authority, to carry out their investigation. That the investigation is in due course. That when the investigation comes out, it would expose the conduct of Flidan. That they're now trying to push the blame to NATCA.
Okay, moving on
We need the aviation sector to work. We've gone past the ages when we used to have flight crash and all of that. And we're coming back. It's coming back, and we don't want those things to sit up.
Defense Education Road gets 6.7 trillion naira, FGI's 10.4 trillion naira tax. Robbers kill Ogun Finance Director in Bullion Van ambush. 25 die in Kwara tanker fire. Norway's Equinor sells 20% stake in Chevron Agbami Field. Aidatiwa returns to Ondo, heads EXCO meeting today. Federal Hospital CEOs diverting drug funds, PSN alleges, and Supreme Court backs CBN cancel old Naira notes deadline.
So this old evil is still plaguing Nigeria, where hospitals are diverting funds and drugs. So the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria yesterday had their event titled Jewel City 2023. That's their international conference that they held in Gombe. And the president of the PSN, Professor Cyril Usifo, was saying that they are calling for the probe of corruption against some of the CEOs of the federal hospitals whom empirical data confirms indulge in the procurement of drugs through their proxies, in addition to diverting drugs revolving funds accruable to identifiable bank accounts that are not official accounts in their institutions. The conference also called for a special retreat to resuscitate the GRF by bringing together the heads of pharmacies and CEOs of all the federal hospitals, with a caveat to mandate the PSN National Executive to sponsor the same if the Ministry of Health is interested in such collaborations. This is a big issue. A big issue. I got an undercover report. Somebody did videos and accused a hospital of, diverting drugs. So you go to those hospitals, drugs for kids are free, and they will treat you. You get it, they'll say, pharmacy don't have it, so you have to go and buy it outside. When you go outside, you see a proper pharmacy selling those drugs.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, continue with the Punch. Which story you're starting with?
Another story is a human interest story. So the Commissioner of Police of Ogun State, Abiodun Alamutu, yesterday confirmed the killing of Mr. Taiwo Oyekomi, the Director of Finance and Accounts, attached to the office of the Governor, Dapo Abiodun, at Okemosa, Abeokuta. And they said he was gunned down while returning from the bank, where he had taken a bullion van to withdraw some funds for the state. The Commissioner of Police said the incident happened on the NNPC bridge near Kuto, Abeokuta, and he was rushed to the state hospital, Ijai, where he was pronounced dead. So according to the story, he had gone to Fidelity Bank to get money for the state using the bullion van. And he was supposed to go with a police escort, but the police that was supposed to escort him had some probably family issues, and he was excused, so he traveled, he wasn't around. By the time they finished from the bank, just heading towards the bridge, a vehicle stopped them, ambushed them. 5 persons came out wearing their hoods and started shooting. They shot him straight, used the sledgehammer, opened the spectacle where they keep the money, took the money and ran away. So by the time they rushed him to the hospital, they found out he was pronounced dead in the hospital, and investigations have started. They're asking for the CCTV of the bank. They want to ascertain the vehicle those robbers used to attack, see how they can trace them. They've also sent messages across the states to block the borders so that people are not able to run away and all of that. So I just hope that they'll be able to give him justice. This is a painful story.
Really sad. And that's in Punch?
Yes, I do have a story. The Norway's Equinor has sold its shares within the Chevron. They've sold their stake in the Chevron-operated Agbami oil field. So They sold to a Nigerian company. The total stake they had is 53.85% ownership of the oil mining license, 128. And Equinox presence has been in Nigeria since 1992. Now they've sold this particular oil field to a local company. And the reason I'm taking this story is because we're seeing a trend of many international players stepping out of the oil and gas industry because we can see a global play of energy transition, and Nigeria still depends largely on this as our major source of income. We need to start thinking of diversifying quickly.
All right, let me take this story. No fewer than 25 lives were lost while 15 others were seriously injured in a petrol tanker fire which occurred as a result of an accident at the Kweke village along the Okolowo area in Kwara State. The accident involved the petrol tanker with registration number XYZ, a heavy-duty truck, and 18-seater bus. An eyewitness account revealed that the petrol tanker, which was traveling from Niger State, was driving on the wrong side of the road, which resulted in a head-on collision with a heavy-duty truck from Lagos State. Really, really painful and sad. These are avoidable accidents that we shouldn't be talking about anymore. Moving on quickly now to Daily Sun. National Assembly leadership expresses worry over high debt burden. Mba targets new cargo terminal, completion of Enugu Airport International Wing. Amnesty International accuses Tinubu of non-uphold of the human rights. Lockdown court orders minister to provide details of the 535.8 million naira school feeding. Excitement in Anambra as Arthur Eze's 5 billion naira donation for poor needy palliatives is provided. 800 litigations, Wike hire SANS to defend FCT. Supreme Court okays indefinite use of old, new banknotes. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I have Wike. So Wike has announced,
who's annoying our FCT?
The FCT minister has announced that there are over 800 litigations outstanding against the FCT by citizens or individuals living in Abuja. And he says that he has also alleged complicity on the part of some officials of the FCT in getting judgments against the FCT. So what he's also alleging is that they do some kind of what we call consent judgment, where both parties agree, and then they'll go and register it, and it will be against the FCT. So what he's going to do is to employ SANs to face them in court. No chance for nonsense. All the cases must come out clean. He says, I have never seen a territory with over 800 litigations. Some of these litigations were in connivance with staff of the FCT. So I have said that I will engage SANs because I don't want a situation whereby someone will go to court and then agree with the plaintiff and the judgment is entered against the FCT. So we'll see fire for fire.
So, still talking about court cases, we have the judge, Federal High Court Abuja has ordered the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Betta Edu, to release details of how the 538.8 million naira was spent on feeding of school children during COVID lockdown. So now, it doesn't involve her personally, but it's under her ministry, and they had been requesting under the Freedom of Information Act. So Justice Nkoyemaha has directed the minister and the ministry to furnish the civil society groups of this information. Previously, they had reached out to the former minister, Hajia Sadiya Umar Farouk, to respond with the information, and they haven't been able to get all the necessary details. Now they want to investigate and look through how the money was spent. And I'm hoping that if they look through, if the current minister submits the details of how the money was spent, they can hold the previous minister accountable for any mismanagement that they see when they investigate, so that we don't distract this current minister from doing what her primary assignment is.
Besides, you know, this is not, they cannot prosecute the matter. Let the security agencies that can go now and probe the books, so that we have the proper. Let's not just be diverted.
You know, we've always talked on this table about philanthropists giving back to the society. So I'm really excited about this news. Arthur Eze has donated 5 billion naira to Anambra State. He has donated that money. Sorry?
Again, it's a usual practice.
Oh, it's a usual practice. Well, I'm really excited that he's continuing. So we were speaking at his 75th birthday reception, which was hosted by the governor, Governor Soludo. He said that he will release the 5 billion naira to the state to distribute to the poor, irrespective of tribe or religion. He trusts the governor to handle the funds and its effective distribution across the states, emphasizing that the governor ranks among leaders whose hearts and concerns for the poor are overwhelming. He says that he's really regretful that there are people who cannot afford food, they don't have food on their tables, and he laments the situation where parents can no longer send their children to school as a result of poverty. So hopefully the 5 billion will be probably...
He's doing an amazing job, but can we appeal that right now we need to be centering the help? Can we have like a food shelter? Can we have something more tangible than just distributing cash? Sustainable, yes.
Trust. If you have a trust, that that money, 5 billion, Abi, 5 billion will go to a trust. The trust will fund the charity. Instead of giving 5 billion out all the time, the trust will be invested into our stock, into the markets, and then it funds it. That's why we see here of all these Carnegie, because they are put the money in tomorrow.
A trust. I have a story before you quickly run out. So the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, has scored President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic policies high, saying that they are good for foreign direct investments. He said that Enugu State is safe for investors to bring in their investments, and that the unified foreign exchange rates policy was rubbing off positively on Enugu's drive for the FDI, that's the Federal Foreign Direct Investment. And he was assuring that his administration was pushing for the construction of the cargo terminal and completion of the international wing of the Akanu Ibiam International Airport in Enugu through collaborations with the federal government. So he also mentioned that one of the reasons he decided to visit was to commend the president, because a lot of things that he's doing at the national level is impacting them at the state level as well. The policies like the unification of the dollar, it's meaning that a lot of foreign investors will be able to come in. Not only will they be able to bring in their funds, but they can repatriate their funds and their profits at the same time. And that there's a lot he's promised to do for the people of Enugu State, which he's going to be collaborating with the federal government in order to achieve that. When they talked about insecurity, he said that right now the sit-at-home is no longer operational in Imo State. People go out about their businesses on Monday, and so people can come in and invest.
Serious-minded Southeasterners investing. See, the people are taking it serious. It's not about lamenting.
Doing something about
investing, less than ensuring that we're developing that region.
They should solve the insecurity challenges, which is highly politically motivated. It will also influence more FDIs to come in.
Vanguard, let's find a story we've not taken. Recapitalization, Nigeria needs higher banks, bigger banks, for 1 trillion naira economy, says NDIC. Supreme Court okays indefinite use of the old naira notes. We talked about that already. Jakba Luth shuts 5 wards as doctors and nurses leave, says reps. FG begs core members over deplorable NYSC camps.
Okay, so I have the Luth story. The chairman House of Reps Committee on Health, Dr. Amos Magaji, reviewed this. He said that over 150 beds and 5 wards have been shut in Luth due to shortage of health workers. He said mostly doctors and nurses have left, so they are understaffed. And he said we are suffering. The Luth is under threat due to brain drain, as many health workers in the hospitals, especially nurses and doctors, have left the teaching hospital in search of greener pastures. That is a teaching hospital
in Lagos.
He said that as a committee, they work together with the federal government and also the teaching hospital to find a way out of this national embarrassment that have befallen the country. He said it's not something that can be done within a day, but it will be done and the approach will be in piecemeal. Even me, as I'm sitting here, know that it's not just a threat. It's a big issue. It has happened already. It's catastrophic. That's the word.
If it can happen,
it's catastrophic.
If it can happen in Lagos, imagine how other states, far-reaching parts.
So they're likely to be coming to Lagos.
I hope that they are taking it with the seriousness that it carries. Imagine every referral that you get, if it's not last week, it's Luth. From every part of the country is Luth, and Luth is understaffed. And it's a statement of fact now.
That's scary.
They are shutting down wards. Total of 800 beds, and how many wards do they have in Luth? And they have shut down 5.
We need incentives to bring back a lot of our doctors. We need incentives. Those who are experienced there, they all want to come back, but then they condition the environment to come back. So we need to just make it happen.
The ones here too need to be preserved to stay.
No, let them go to get the experience.
All of them cannot be going to get the experience. That's the problem.
They are not employing nurses.
That's all we can take on front page review.
Time has gone.
Yes, time has gone. It's Thursday. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, Thursdays are our gisting days. We love to talk about family, life, marriage, the whole lifestyle. And today we bumped into a story online which caught our attention. So there was a man who calls himself the Most High Chief, put out a message on X. He said, only men are capable of going to the lowest places and pick a woman without a future, care for her, give her a life of purpose, and marry her. Women are incapable of doing this. Ask them, and you will hear, I want a rich man. In a nutshell, lots of women don't want to start with a man, nurture him, fund him, help him. They want a man who is already at least semi-established enough to take care of them. But men are always willing to pick up somebody who may not have any job, but willing to care for them and turn them into a successful woman. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree? And there was another message which we'll go back into a bit later, but what are your general thoughts on this thinking? You can call us on 081-276-41679, 090-241-63440. Also, tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. All right, who'd like to go first? Nima, go ahead.
There are many reasons why men marry women. And the reasons why women marry men are not the same exactly. So men marry for pleasure. When a man is broke, he wants a woman. When a man is rich, he goes for a woman, an accessory. When a man wants to marry, he wants a woman that would stay there. So you can go to the lowest of the low and pick one for control. It's me who, now, the one that you call daddy, why you dare not call them anything else. You put them in their place. They call you yes sir, yes
Lord,
ma'am.
Lord.
You call them Lord. You don't dispute. We did the topic was where one politician's wife sued him to court. I said the approach of that kind of man is not what she's using. You need to learn it. There are men like that. But there are also men who marry women they respect. So this matter that he's talking about is not necessarily general. But why do women marry men? Women marry men they want to look up to, someone who they want to. It's not necessarily about money. Most of us here now, we did not marry our husbands in the beginning wealthy. We are now enjoying it. We have worked for it. Most women in our generation then, we were taught is that if you marry somebody, you now build together, then you deserve what you get. But women have now found out that they are built with man. The man will now go and marry somebody that did not deserve to reward. So women are no longer doing it now. Well, let me cry my cry inside ACO. Let me cry it inside Jeep. The thing has changed. You cannot just sit down from that is only perspective and say that thing correctly. Okay. If you ask other women, or if you was talking about wealthy, well-to-do women, the fear is to marry someone who is gold digging. Where is the respect? What else can the man show that is a man if it's not money in our climb? So what exactly would you expect?
Okay, let me come to you.
I did a video on social media about 3 weeks, a month ago actually, just about a month ago. I was in Benin and I asked the question that, what else would you give a woman who does not need your money? Because the way African men are wired is to provide. Yeah. They get their masculine, they get their energy, they get their feeling of, I'm a man, I'm a provider. So when a man cannot provide, when a man's money is no longer required in a relationship, African men tend to feel emasculated. They tend to feel like, so what use am I in this space? And the question generated a lot of reply. And it is relevant to this particular topic because we know the way men are. If a man is not providing, he doesn't feel like he's adding value. And so women would not want to be in that situation where I'm having to manage the man's ego. I'm having to downplay myself just so that the man will look good and feel good. And there's a lot of drama I'm dealing with on my own to now have to deal with an insecure man. And until we address that part, we address the fact that everything that makes a man feel big is what he has. Very few men are like Mr. Brown, who will say, it doesn't matter about what I have, I am the man. If we can raise more men with that mindset, we would have more happy marriages. We will have less conversation around who has more money. But we'll be thinking more about the core value of what each person is bringing into the relationship, values and virtues. But for today, what men see is, I want a woman I can control, and a woman is saying, I want a man that can provide for me, in that match, it's a match made in heaven for African marriages. When you swap it, you have crisis in African marriages.
Okay.
African marriages are really unique. Yeah, we cannot use the template of what is obtainable in those Western world to, bring it here. The people that have tried it, the women don't find it very funny, and they end up drained. But I would say that, like Nima rightly said, we marry for different reasons, right? The man's job, the man takes up his responsibility when he wants to pick a wife. And his job is to be the visionary of the home. His job is to be the provider, the protector of the home. And so in being a visionary and a provider and a protector, you want the weaker person who would submit to your authority and to your provision. And so when they want to pick, they are not, except for, I've seen a few men these days, it's really changing very fast now, who would go for women who have more because they don't want, in fact, they are in their feminine energy as far as I'm concerned. They don't want to be stressed with the way their fathers were stressed. They just want to sit down, eat the woman's money. Yes, a few men are like that now. But normally, the man will want to, pick from a place where the person would look up, the person would respect, the person would, like, even in the scripture, they said, and Sarah called Abraham Lord. That's Lord and Master. Lord, they did not mention Master. Lord, don't confuse me. So that is how the man will want. So if I come to this pool and I see that from this place, this girl can stay in my house, this girl will listen to me, this girl will do my bidding, will do what I say, will not have friends that will come and confuse her, I would go for that, right? But when a woman wants to choose, the woman will choose based on, can I get security from this person? Can this person's broad shoulder cover me if anything happens? That's what we reason when we pick. And even though we didn't marry people who had money at the time we met them, we looked at some potentials that they had. We looked at, can this man share the 5 naira that he has? Can he protect me? Yeah. Can he stand for me? Can he defend me outside? And that was what informed our picking who we picked. So we can't place 2 of them together. Men would always pick from the pool because sometimes the people at their level, they cannot control those people. They cannot talk to those people the way they want to talk to someone who they have picked up.
When a woman who is successful tries to date a man who is not as successful, maybe maybe he doesn't have a job, he doesn't have anything, people frown on that, saying that, why are you going lower than him? Because she's willing to respect him, regardless of the money. Because maybe but society doesn't always agree with the woman marrying to that level, and they always condemn such acts.
So it is the African, going back to the African marriage system, and in the biblical marriage system, you're supposed to submit, respect, honor your husband. It is easier to respect and submit to a man that is richer than you, older than you, and more confident. It's easier because this is obviously, you senior me with age, you get money, like you take everything past me. It's easier for a woman to align with the system and the status quo when the man has more. It becomes a bit more, it requires a lot more intelligence for a woman to be able to say that I have every other thing more than you, but I submit to you as the man. And very few men are able to deal with that pattern. Very few men are able to believe that a woman can be in that space. So I hear many Nigerian men that don't have a lot of money, they will not near a woman that has money because they already assume she cannot be submissive. If a woman has money, she will not submit. If a woman has money, she will be aggressive. If a woman has money, she will not listen to me. And because of that, they will stay clear of those that have money. It is easier for a man to dominate a woman that is looking up to you for everything. If you are giving me money for pants and bra, give me money for pad. If you want to buy matches, you are giving me money. So obviously, if I'm going to meet somebody that's giving me that kind of money, I'll be subservient. I would be very humble, and that will make a man feel like the Lord and Master. So because of that dynamic, we rarely see that opposite in terms of a woman a man marrying somebody that is richer, or a woman, and a woman does not pick. So if really, at the end of the day, women don't pick. Every proverb, every statement says that we are the fish. The fishermen, they come and pick us.
So there's also a response I have to the society.
Okay, I have a call. Let me come to you in a minute. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. I'm happy with the ongoing topic. The issue here is this. The woman in Islam It's not meant to be a property you acquire. This part of the world we are in is a man's world, whether we like it or not. My sister Nima dear will bear me witness. Whatever a woman has is her own. 100% care of a woman should come from the husband. Islamically, you should be man enough to take care of a woman before you venture into marriage. Then I pray our upcoming youth, women, should always have it at the back of their mind that whatever a man is saying as at the point of marrying you is just to get hold of you, whatever empty promises. Prepare your mind that anything can happen in the marriage. Then always have God at the center pole of your relationship. The moment you have all this, then no woman should go into a marriage as a liability. You will never be respected in that marriage, come what may. Except you are marrying a man that has the fear of Almighty.
An angel.
Then look at the background the woman is coming from. Look at the background the man too is coming from. Because there are places where women have no place at all. It's just the grace of God. Otherwise, there are places in this our country. A woman, the moment you are giving out, you have no say in your family. You enter into another family, you are a wife. No respect either way.
Thank you very much, Aisha. You're going to say something.
So I was going to talk about, when society asks, why when a woman marries down, society asks her, why did you marry down? So some of the issues that has followed such experiences in the past is why people have termed it what it is. It's a situation of a burning wood on dried leaves. If you're a well-to-do woman and you decide to marry down, some of the experiences will be that you would go down because of control. You are termed a disrespectful woman if you try to build such a man. If you try to insist on a man having his own, if you try to insist on him doing better, if you pressure him, you'll be like, she's choking me. Such interpretation is why they will ask you, could marry somebody that is at your level, so that you at least continue in your empowerment of yourself and do better for yourself than to marry down and go down. I know women who, in Islam, have decided that, no, it's an holy thing. So in Islam, we are entitled to our dowry fully, a woman, not a family. It's called mar. It's not dowry as the African term would be. The bride price. It's not the bride price, it's dowry. It belongs to the woman. And some women will now come at the wedding, they'll say, no, you should just read me a verse of the Quran. I say, God forbid it.
You collected
Yes, I carry Quran. Thank you very much. Give me my money. Because it is supposed to be something that is of your reward. It is not something that you use to determine, to show your holiness or righteousness to God. I don't know why people thought, let me just do it for free, and deny yourself the blessing that God has ensured for you, and to prove any point.
Let me take this call. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, Ibrahim.
I was listening to you on the discussion. Actually, where I would like us to start from is in African context, or maybe in Nigeria, let's get it down. In Nigerian context, what do we expect from the men or the husband? What do we expect from the wife? Because we are all trained in a certain way. A man should do this. And the men fell in line. Even the mothers will train you that way. They will train the men that way. And they train the women in particular in what they should hope for. So if we want to change, to modern society, maybe we should try and redefine what marriage should look like.
We're changing it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Let me go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
You asked before we move on. So you asked why society frowns on women who marry down. Society will frown because so far so good. It hasn't worked out most of the time, based on the stories we've seen. I think the woman is naturally wired to nurture, and that nurturing will come from an environment where there's someone who is stronger in giving, putting down the rules and guidelines and vision of what this family should be, and the woman can relax in her place and nurture the man, nurture the home, nurture the kids, and all of that. Now, when women leave that nurturing role or add to the nurturing role by providing, there's something that it does to a woman's brain. At some point, you become a man. And this is not on the physical level. This is on the energetical level. You become a man, and then you start, you know, we can't have two captains in one boat. You all of a sudden become a captain, and it becomes difficult to now listen to the husband. It becomes difficult to take what the husband is saying. And society has seen that this, especially in our culture here, this is not working for us. So, auntie, it's better you marry someone who is higher than you so that you can settle into your nurturing role, and then you become the helpmeet, you become the neck, you know. But when you take up his position, or you are dragging that position, and that's why if you look at the Western world, everybody wants to copy. There is no, they will tell you we are partners in this marriage. We're not partners in African marriage. Let us tell ourselves the truth. If my husband wants to go somewhere now, he will just tell me, inform me, baby, I have a retreat. I'll be back to so and so and all of that. I help him pack his bag and all that. Let me try that. That's Mariah is hanging out with the ladies. And I just inform, baby, I'm packing my bag. I'm hanging out with Mariah. I'm coming back. You did not tell me. When did we have this conversation? When did we? We are not equal. And that's how it's been working. It works for our parents. That is what our culture is. So let's be careful of wishing for everything the Western world is, you know, cherry picking. Because at the end of the day,
let me take this call.
It happens in their own place.
Take this call. Good morning, Yemi. You're live. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, ladies. How are you?
Morning, sir. Very well.
Yeah, the topic you're handling today is very, very interesting. And there seems to be a lot of problems, conceptions about marriage. If we really going to enjoy marriage, we need to trace the root of the marriage. The phone I'm holding presently has a manual. And if I really want to enjoy this phone, I must follow the manual.
Yeah.
The root of marriage is God. God has specific templates we must follow when it comes to marriage. And if we follow this template, there will be issues. The problem we are having today is that we want to redefine marriage according to ourselves. I think get the same place that God promised us. It will never happen. Even when you look at the Western world, where husband and wife are called the partners, we know the role they play by each are different. For instance, in the Western world, it's 50-50. The bills and everything.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in Africa. Very few women want to do that in Africa.
All right.
In marriage, there are rules. As a man, as a woman, the template in the scripture, whether in the Holy Quran, whether in the Bible. If we follow that, there won't be issues.
Okay.
But with these things according to integrity, and you accept that please, you would never have it.
Thank you very much. Let me take this message from Mr. Ikenga Izinwegbu. He's speaking to Anambra women. Let's be in fairness to him, so let us not generalize. However, I would like to hear from Anambra women to please call in this morning. Hopefully in response, we'll try to speak on your behalf this morning. But he was saying, mothers of Anambra ladies of marriageable age, advise your daughters to dress less expensively and to be moderate in lifestyle to attract responsible Anambra husbands. Anambra suitors check a lot of things, including maintenance costs. And I'll link that to why he went on to say a good girl of marriageable age may have been pricing herself out of the market by always dressing to kill, riding in the best of cars, living alone in a tastefully furnished apartment in a world where suitors and their moms feel somehow towards such ladies. Dear ladies, what do you think goes on in the mind of prospective suitors when you always look so expensive, drive expensive cars, and live alone in an expensive apartment? So,
Reminds
this
me
is a man.
My G Sholowo, when I see the babe, I look at the hair, 500 and something thousand. I look at the shoe, 1 million naira. I look at the wristwatch, 500,000. I look at the phone, 2 point something, iPhone 15 Pro Max. By the time I look at you, I look at my account. I look at you again. I look at my account. The man will just carry himself and carry his 2 legs and walk away to where he will have peace. So, because a man looking at somebody that You are just going out. Every day I see you,
Fully
it's like
packaged.
10 million, 20 million. And I look at my account as a man. And you will respect
But doesn't mean that
yourself.
you don't have low confidence. You don't have enough self-esteem. The kind of confidence a man needs to approach any
There is
woman.
something called hunt and kill.
The truth of
the
this
size of the fish determines the price. When I know I have 2,000 naira and I go to point and kill, I see that very long one.
You will run away.
I will not go there because I know that if I point at it, they kill this one for me is 10,000. So I will go to the one that looks like my pocket, 2,000, and I will point at it. That is the reality of these men, because the men know their responsibility is to take care of a woman. I cannot see a woman that is wearing bone straight, bomb length of 1 million naira, and now marry her and tell her be wearing bob. Because you saw her before you married her.
Let me hear, I think I have a call. I want to hear Nima. Good morning. Ade from London. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning, Mariah. You can't be with you.
Sorry, sir.
On your new role as the managing director.
Thank you, sir. TVC Entertainment. Thank you, sir.
I have an entertainment yet. I have a different view. I used to live in Kano before I travel out, and I live inside the city. I never for one day see them quarrel with their wife. So I so much like the way they live. You understand?
Yeah.
So in coming to South here, if you want to replicate that, the best women to marry are called in Yoruba, Mayeo. You can interpret that. Those are the best women to marry. When you marry such women, you won't have any problem. Either you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter. As long as you marry a lady called Mayeo.
What's my own? What
I don't say no.
Cannot, anyhow you see.
Mayeo. So that when husbands talk, they hear that.
Yes,
No argument. Go in the head. That is why a woman cannot live in their parents' home without husband who have respect. But we give them the respect. So you should idolize us. So I'm sure all of you will agree with me. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Nima, let me come to you.
So my own, go as my Lord pleases.
As my Lord pleases.
My darling Lord. So I was going to, you're taking me back. I forgot what I wanted to respond to a tweet. Someone had said we were diverting from this topic. That the question was, can a rich woman go down and pick a man who is nobody and marry him and make him somebody? But that's not true. Women marry down every time, and women pay dearly for that.
Thank you.
The highest percentage pay dearly for that. That's why Nollywood even do the movies. Everybody talk the stories of how women have married down and how women have paid dearly through their ears and nose for it. But on this topic that this man talked about and the women living in high houses, we don't want to face this truth. We are not ready for the truth of this thing. The reality is that usually, as Tokwe said, you check your maintenance power to see the girl you want to marry. And it is the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to not marry a woman from a well-to-do background and force her to come and understay. If you meet her wearing lace in her father's house, can you buy lace? It's not that when she now comes, you now be judging her. You are not a domesticated woman. You are not a kinikon woman. And we see it is so much in society for us to come to comment section and be paying lip service to it as if it's not the truth. Women pay dearly for the status they have and the choices they make in marriage if they do it anyhow. So it's something they do deliberately to avoid certain stories that touch.
Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Hello?
Morning, sir.
How are you?
Very well.
I always enjoy your program.
Thank you, sir.
But when it comes to marriage, marriage is the best thing that happened to mankind. Unfortunately, honestly speaking, many people misplace it. Because I must confess to you that you need to be patient and get the right person. When you have the right person, you know, most of the time the woman is the minister of home affairs. You know, the woman ain't nothing like the woman. The minister of home affairs. If you allow the woman to be in charge of home, then, you know, things is going to work out right. But unfortunately, a lot of times, we misplace men. Every man is on the same, and their background is quite different. Everybody's, you know, is different, you know, and that is the reason why we cannot just say man. No. I see differently. My wife is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Wow.
Because I am confessing to you today that, you know, she has brought so much light into my life. She's the one that knows my account number. She's the one in charge.
Wow.
And the man, I'm telling you the truth today, that I'm enjoying my life in a very wonderful way.
Right. All right,
sweet.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Denuga. Let's go back to this conversation because there are lots of young people, the number man, because the talk was trying to also help us understand, should women realistically dress down in order not to seem too expensive or less attractive to a responsible man? Because I want to dress like 10 million naira, but I don't want a man to run away from me.
Okay, so I think I want to break down the dispensation where this mindset arose from. What this Anambra man has said concerning Anambra ladies is true generally. It's not just, in fact, he said the minds of many men that I know and how they will look at you and quickly calculate what you have and ask themselves, can I afford this, right? That's the mindset most men, especially in some generations, like the older generations. Even in our own generation, we had things like that, where I remember there was a time when I started working, my mom got me upset, and I was upset. I said I wanted to move out and get my own place, and my guy was like, please don't. He begged them. He said, please, you are not getting your own place. You are going to stay here, you will marry from here, and you will go. Because the mindset at the time is that anybody who is, any woman who is able to do some work. So there's something flawed about that mindset, which I want to break down. Most men do not believe that a woman can have a certain amount of money without the influence of other men, no matter how hardworking you are. That's something that I have noticed. Even if they don't spell it out, they imply it. There is in the subconscious that there must be a man behind that is bankrolling you. You cannot. Even in your husband's house, we know how hardworking we are on this table. People will still look at me and say, you are eating your husband's money. So the one that I am working is not money that is worthy to be eaten, right? Even the in-laws will say the same thing. So it's the mindset, it's in the mindset of many men that there's no woman that will get to a particular height, especially if she's single and she's making so much money that there is no fire from behind that is pumping. And so when they calculate you and they rate you, that's what is in their mind that
they can't compete.
You to afford this kind of car, stay in this kind of house, wear this kind of wristwatch, there must be a man. And aside from the work that I'm telling you, their mindset, this man did not lie. So let me finish. This man did not lie. That is the mindset of many men. However, I'm also realizing that the younger generation, our Gen Zs and the millennials. No, not we are millennials. Our own Gen Zs and the alphas, our own children. Their generation is different because of some of the things that they have seen. So their generation will likely, because they understand the kind of work they do and the kind of money that they make by themselves. Both
they won't have that problem.
They won't have that problem. But we had that problem because our men in their head, you don't get how you want to pay that kind of house rent.
Let me let you jump in.
Somebody's not supporting you.
Let me let you jump in.
I'm not disagreeing with the tweet from that man. He's correct. But not all. Usually what we see where women have their own money is a southern thing. Up north, you can have money from your family. Inheritance. You can be from a family and the man knows that your worth is, no, I cannot treat this one anyhow. But here, when there's no trail,
where the money is coming from,
when there's no trail, if you're the MD of TBC Entertainment, for instance, of course you are at a position where you can afford certain luxuries. When a man is coming to you, there's pedigree. It's not that you are wearing the air you cannot afford, sit at the restaurant you cannot afford, drive the car you cannot explain, and you expect a man not to think twice about what you have. If there's there is no point. There will be no questioning. And up north, when a woman drives the car she cannot seem to afford, she will come from the background of a family that can afford to give it to her. It also happens here. So usually it's about trail. Also, when the man is looking at it, when an Anambra man is talking, he's talking about what his responsibilities and expectations are. It's not, if you marry from certain areas, you marry the woman. You are the responsibility of the younger brother who never goes to school, the younger sister who never chop, the father that is retired. It's on you. So when a man like that is coming and seeing the taste of the girl, you'll be asking, where will I start from? And their mothers, even if the man was in love, the mother will open inside, maintenance cost. What can you afford? So the reality of this thing is many. We have not even started on it.
You're very correct. Let me come in here because I've shared this story experiencing. When I was getting married, not too long, I think it was not too long, it was 2009. I met my husband 2010. 2009, I got a brand new Prado Jeep. Brand new tear-up Cha-Cha as an official car from High TV then. I brought it home. I was very excited, but my mom was worried. My mom's sister was worried. Single girl, you'll be driving around town with Prado. She was just like, I'm happy for you, but are you sure you'll not be taking your own car? Because she didn't want me to be going around in that kind of vehicle. She just felt that it was too much. And when I met my husband, I used to talk about Triple J. There's this guy, he's going to kill me. I've actually said before, he had this really old car. Like, inside the car, like, you sit down, you sit in the floor. And we used to call it Triple J. The car was very old and raggedy. And he would come to my house in confidence to pick me up to take. I would enter his car. Leave the Prado. We enter his car. On Terminal Bridge, I am seeing the hole on the floor. We enter the car. And he'll be smiling, and there's no AC. He's lying down. And he'll be smiling and gisting. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I could have been in an air-conditioned car, you know? But we'll be in the car, but eventually, but sometimes he will drive the car with confidence. It's his own car, it's my own car. He doesn't. So sometimes about confidence, just like you said, even though, yes, you have this kind of success, because I know I can trace your family, I know where you're coming, I can see your mother, I can trace you. I won't be intimidated, because I also know where I'm coming from. So as much as I hear the parts of some women, you can't trace where they're coming from. Maybe you don't get threatened. But some other women, you know their family. You can find who they are.
It's about family.
It's about family. I'm saying that.
I was asking your suspicion of a man sponsoring you. A woman who looks all the wealth, but she cannot say, I do this for a living. You just see her looking on point every day. Of course, somebody has to be maintaining that course. If the father
don't necessarily,
she can maintain it by herself.
That's the point she's making.
Evidence.
She can maintain it by herself, but we always assume that she's not able to maintain it herself.
She has a job as a business.
Am I going to be showing my receipt to the world?
There are many angles to this, and what BC said is a very valid fact. Men believe that for women to have money, it must be that she cheats, or maybe she slept her way to the top. If a woman gets promoted to become MD or a director, they are finding out which member of the board is she sleeping with to achieve that position. That is a different mindset on its own. Women against women, men against women. Once a woman gets to the top, there's always a question of how did she get there? Did she deserve it? But that's not the topic we're discussing today. We're discussing the fact that the man is scared that would this woman be faithful if I cannot maintain this lifestyle? So if a woman is already living expensive and I am unable to fund this lifestyle and something happens, will she remain faithful, or will she be like, I'm so jade, I'm so classy, I will not be able to take care of me? Exactly. Now, Murayo gives example of herself. I've given example, all of us have given example of how we married our husbands when they were on a growing journey. But how many women are actually like that? We're not that many. We're not. Even at that time, we're not that many. Even at that time, we're not that many. And very few women would enter their husband's kabu, their boyfriend's kabu, and will not the next day feel like, guy, can we carry my own car on the next trip? Just because is that humility or being able to say, I can afford it. The truth is, when we say submission is power under control. Like, I have the power, but I choose to control it. Very few women see submission as I am being suppressed. But you have the power. It takes you to have the ability to control that power. That I have a Prado in my house, but I will enter your tuke.
Yeah, I wanted to enter my Prado. I came back home to complain. I had a guy. Yes, I had a guy. My mom said, enter his car.
Okay.
You know, so it was because I had guidance.
So let's talk about the Anambra man and dealing with the issue.
And I give you my key. You drive. I don't have to drive. I don't have to tell the world that it's my car. But can we have comfort? Please, comfort, please.
The category that I totally disagree with in this conversation is the category of women who fake expensive lifestyle to attract expensive men. And in that same journey, they would make themselves...
That's a different topic,
they will make themselves unable to attract the right man for them. You will disqualify the right man because you have gone to go and borrow what you don't own, what you cannot afford, so that you will look big and be able to attract big men or be able to relate with them, but you know you cannot afford it, or you are.
Well, you can aspire.
Right man for them.
But you can aspire.
Give the example of somebody that went to go and buy iPhone, and the person has family responsibility. You have children's school fees. You have, your younger siblings are not looking good, but you are living a very expensive life.
Tokwe, can I give an example? Let me give an example. If I'm your PA, for example, and I say, Tokwe, please give me this hair. And you give me because you don't need it anymore. Your shoes, I'm wearing your clothes and everything. You invite me to your husband's friends. We're having, and I'm there looking like Tokwe's, sister friend. And then your husband's friends are there hanging. I say, who's that girl? I will meet. I'm aspiring for a better life.
The man comes to your house.
Leave the house. I'm aspiring.
No, it doesn't matter.
He's marrying me.
Professor Imonoka says, you are all correct from your point of view.
Nima, Mabino, let me pause you. I have to take this mic and hold in. Baba Jide, thanks for calling. Ozeola Jide, you're live. Oh, I'm so sorry, sir, for keeping you. Go ahead, Nima.
Okay, so he says, you're all correct from your point of view and perspective. Having married previously, I see my present wife that we have been together for 20 years as a gift. My ex is a Muslim and a good person that was a factor, is a Muslim, and a good person that was a factor that endeared me to her. My marriage was based on lies, delusions, unfaithfulness, and my godfather and marriage sponsor is morally bankrupt, who is an ex-military governor and former minister. Prey on my naivety to exploit the gap and ruin my marriage. It broke my trust in him and messed up my psyche. I read this story thinking
there was a positive.
Let me take Ayomide. Good morning, Ayomide. You're live.
It's nice to be on the show. I've been listening for quite some time. And just being there. Yeah, so my point is, if I want to marry, because that's very if many women.
I'm having trouble hearing. Can you hear him? Maybe they can hear him at home. Go ahead, Ayomide.
I wanted to just conclude on.
Okay, we lost.
I've tried to marry a feminist woman, not like submissive like anybody going for it. It's like
it's still okay. It's muffled.
It's quite muffled, but they might hear it at home, actually. Go ahead.
So, just in conclusion, we don't fake. Women should not fake their an expensive lifestyle. Number two is, I wouldn't want to marry I don't think a woman should feel bad if she doesn't get propositioned by a man that has inferiority complex, because you struggle all through that marriage. Yeah. If a man already looks at you and feels you are too expensive, you don't want to marry that man, because the man will limit your ability, your potential in life.
Exactly.
So I don't want to marry a man that has inferiority complex. I don't want to marry a man that has low self-esteem. It would limit my capacity. And if you're a woman and you feel like maybe I should stop and reduce what I'm doing so that I can get married, please don't make that mistake. Don't reduce yourself.
So let me now do it for you. Let me ask you a question. Okay. You have a sister who is getting promoted in an office. They just gave her a brand new Prado. She has beautiful hair. She takes care of her skin. She's always top class. She goes to France, London with her boss, and she's doing very well. You're worried she's not yet married. Okay. Would you advise her to tone down her expression of her wealth? Or would you say, continue it, you'll find yours? So if you had a sister in that situation.
So society has moved. A few years back, if you give me this scenario, I would advise a different thing, which is toned down, because that was where we were. But we have moved. Right now, men are willing to marry you. As a matter of fact, most of our men are in their feminine energy. They want to come and chop. It's not a problem. They understand. Most men now are exposed. They feel whoever God blesses first, we are good. However, I would tell her to look out for jealousy. Are there signs that this man
is jealous of your wealth?
Is jealous of you? Because if he's jealous of you, when you enter that house, he will stifle you. He will tell you not to take up those positions. He will tell you to leave that job, and that's what happens. So make sure that when he's smiling and happy that you have gotten that brand new car, you can see in his eyes that he's truly, genuinely happy for you.
It's not jealousy.
Be very careful about that.
Cannot be general. When this tweet is still reality in some places.
In some generation.
No,
ask our teenager. No, not be this generation. Gen Z.
No. There are still people. There are still people.
In Gen Z, our Gen Z.
There are still people in that situation.
No,
because we are living in the city. There are people living outside Lagos, Port and Abuja.
This generation. The mothers in question that are advising, this person is tweeting from a particular region, looking at things that he has seen as reality. I know someone from that same region who is still unmarried today. She's in her 50s. She has money. She's doing well. She goes for the Decembers. She does everything.
Is it possible?
And there's a title they give those women in that region. You get to an age, there's a title they give them. It's very demeaning. I'm even grateful I can't remember immediately. That they give women that are married in that class and age with all the money.
Yes.
So if it is the reality in that place, the advice is...
Let me take Okpeyemi. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Anyway, they won't come for me for that kind of thing.
Morning. Okpeyemi, go ahead. You're live, please.
You kept me online.
I apologize.
So I'm enjoying your program, lady.
Thank you.
They don't say I've been even watching you right from what is it called? ITV. That is Morayo there.
Oh, wow.
So you back up with opening someone no really okogbe. So let me just go straight to the point now. When it comes to the issue of marriage, it's not compulsory you marry if you're not prepared. If you are not prepared, you don't even need to go. If you are not ready to submit, you will stay in your father's house and enjoy your life. The truth there is that you want to share that portion with the man in the house. The man came for your hand in marriage, paid the dowry, do everything. And I believe that he knows one or two things about you that he thinks that will be of help in the family. That's why he brought you in. So if you want to be, you have your own role to play in the house. The man is not going to take your role. So if you are looking for someone that you compete with, you have your colleagues in the place of work and other places. You can go and compete. You can't compete with your husband. In your house.
Thank you.
The issue there is submission.
Yeah.
It's just submission. I'm not saying that you should submit yourself to the
can I ask you a question?
Yes,
a man who is interested in dating a wealthy woman. He likes her because she has good family background, she has good education, but she's way wealthier than he is. And is he willing to submit to her in that regard? Wait, listen, this girl, she's a high flyer. I'm just a carpenter doing my business, growing my business gradually, and I'm doing a legitimate business. But she's working in an oil company, she's traveling around. I love her, she loves me, she's a humble girl, I like her. But should I submit to the fact that she's going to be earning much more than me? She's going to be the provider of the house. Should a man submit in that situation?
Okay. Since you have twisted it this way now, No. You just. I like that example, but let's look at the other way around. Understand? A lady that earns more than his husband. I think she should have the character to sustain that home. Then, because she already know that she's earning more than the husband, then when it now comes to the values, forget about the issue of money. Now focus on how can I sustain this home with this wealth. She start working on certain things of her life. I know women that do the cover up for their men and make the men look as if they are the one doing it.
Yes, many.
To do that.
You do that.
Understand? So
Thank you so much.
It's all about understanding.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okwe.
So you
many women are in that space. Even growing up, we have some homes where you go to. It's the woman that owns everything. It's the woman that does everything. But how they were taught to handle it was to make the man look good in public. Sometimes, even the family members of the man don't even know that it's the woman that is funding the home. They hide it. When they are going out, it's the woman that will give the man the money that he will share, that he will spend. When the kids need something, it's the woman that will give the man money and send the kids to go and meet your father and collect this money. We've always had that, and it will always have that. However, the difference between that time and now is when women now have the money, they want to show that they have the money. And that is where I think some men are now feeling like I can't be in this space because women will now, the kids will come to me, I'm the one giving them the money. This will happen through me and all of that. But our parents found a way to manage it at the time. There's nothing happening now that has not happened before. It's always there. But I'm worried about how people count money into in your pockets. So it's not just a man who will look at you and calculate. Even your fellow colleagues will look at you and calculate your worth. And then they'll be asking themselves, but now this same thing will they do? How is she getting the extra money? What other jobs is she doing? It's a human thing to calculate money into people's pockets. I'm able to do this, but this person did this before. And there must be a backing for her to be able to do it. You don't know the extra. Not everybody will come and bring out all their expenses and all their jobs and say, this is how much I'm earning from this, and that. Some people are quite private with their resources, and you may just be seeing a few things, happening around them. But we always count people's money for them. And that's why when you ask somebody to give you something, the person doesn't give you, you feel entitled, you're upset. But she gets, why she not give me? Because you are constantly counting that
How much
person's
you feel
money,
she
how
has.
much you feel she has,
I've taken us to
looking
different
at
topics.
her at the same time. It's also a problem that affects this marriage thing.
All right.
So answering your question, you asked us about the fact that if I have a younger sister who is working in, let's use oil companies, since these people tend to have a lot of money, and she has a brand new car and all of that, would I tell her to downplay since she's single? No, I won't tell a single lady who is legitimately earning a lot of money to downplay her lifestyle so she can appeal to an insecure man. I will tell her to have enough confidence in herself that she would attract a secure man, and she will respect the secure man regardless of how much he earns. So I don't want us to feel like there's a competition regarding money. Yeah. I want if I have a rich younger sister, I will tell her not to downplay her lifestyle, but she should have enough character.
But there are lots of men who are work in progress. Many of them do not get to that security usually.
I'm not your bride to be grooming you for me. Many of us women,
most men are groomed.
We marry men
wrong.
We are now managing and hoping they will change.
Yes.
I cannot marry an insecure man and hoping that I will.
But you are changing your own now. You don't say I want to change my own. So you work with your own, for example. We work with our own. We work with our own to get them to where they are. Which I want to find my own too that is rusty. I want to also help him.
You might not
talk about this lifestyle.
Let her learn.
I did not finish, please. Because you might end up marrying a man. You will think I'm marrying a man and he's not insecure. Or like he's a bit insecure, I will work on him. I will be humble.
I'll change him.
I will put my money down. I will give him my money, and there will never be an end point to what you will need to do. So if a woman is already earning money and she works in it, she might need to travel. You know, a man coming into that marriage knows that I'm marrying a woman that is going to is traveling or going on trips, Escravos or whatever, or every other time I have a cousin who is a big, she's a big woman. She's married. Her husband knows. I saw her husband doing school runs every day in school because today my cousin is in Ghana. Tomorrow she's in Dubai. Next tomorrow I'll call her. She'll be like, oh, I've not been in Nigeria for a month. But she has 3 children that her husband is taking to school. That man understands I've married a high flyer. Yeah. That man is not an insecure man. If she had married an insecure man, she would forever be trying to apply, how will I let my husband know that I've been called to take a private jet? So that for me must be discussed.
Because the question is, you advise her to downplay her lifestyle. So what's the lifestyle you're downplaying exactly? I had an aunt that married. And by the time she was married, she had an inheritance huge enough to sponsor any lifestyle. But she lived a simple lifestyle. Not because she was looking for a suitor, but because that was the lifestyle she was raised with. So let's say a man even see you and not be able to determine your worth.
I'm distracted by
what you have. How about if talk about his investment? Yeah. Which one is lifestyle? Go. Is if you have the money, should it be for lavishness or for investment?
No, what you call lavishness is not lavishness to another person. Okay. You will sit here and say, okay, I want to hide my money. I want to be moderate in how I appear, how I speak, even though we know that you have money. You just present that because that is what you know. Another person will sit here, even if I borrowed this jacket that I wore, I feel like wearing this jacket, and I want to look good wearing the jacket, and I wear it. And you may look at me and say, this girl is just flashy, but that's my style. Lifestyle, you determine the style that you want. What I will not agree to is being fake about your lifestyle. But they say you can desire anything. Your desires are endless, and it's okay. The universe respects and responds exactly.
I will use my last card to travel.
Exactly. You're spending so much. You are lavishing money in your trip. But you know what that trip does to your self-esteem. You know what that trip does to you. So everybody determines their own. And that's why I would advise people, go to your level. Nobody should be squashing themselves just because they want to
I like the part.
Marriage is not for everybody. Can we be talking?
I like the part that you said, because I got into a marriage where before I got married, I was traveling. Even my husband, when he met, we were getting married, my boss, his gift to us was a trip to France for our honeymoon.
Imagine.
What you like.
As we entered the marriage like this, Uncle said, Auntie, this is your huge here. We are trying to start a family. Stop it for now. Stop it. And because I chose to agree as the kind of person I am. And we stopped it for I traveled for the first time.
But last year, you were building your resources together, right?
I was building my resources together, but last year was the first time.
Resources.
Mariah, so people will not be able to stop it.
That's what I'm saying.
Some people, they call it oxygen. They see it as being or nothing. It gives them life. Without it, I go die. As in,
So people are different. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them great. You are different. You are different from me. I'm different from you.
In these things, when we have this conversation,
We're different people.
So some of us have the enjoyment of, just as we said, the flashy, the lavishness. That's who they are. But can you live moderate? Can you do moderate part-time? Some people will tell you, I can never do moderate till I died. That will scare a man.
What is your moderate?
You're coming together and you're bringing resources together. You're going to start a family together. You're going to make decisions together. You're going to live life together. You must always put somebody in consideration, except you're not serious.
Something must give.
Ready.
Compromise.
Thank you. You must compromise something. Except you're not ready for marriage. And if you're unable, as a single girl, to compromise something, everything is until
the marriage is over.
Accept you're selfish.
You see the wisdom in there.
Yes, I understand, but what is moderate? So we have kids that we are raising who travel all the time. They eat, the kind of food they eat, I did not eat it. Now, she gets, let's take, for instance, the daughter gets to a level and somebody is coming. She's used to going on holidays with mommy and daddy every time of the year. She's used to having this as normal. She sees it as normal because that's the normal that she knows. And then you tell her to, when we come to your house, you're always making sausages, you're always making this. You have to cut it down so that you are able to attract. Who do I want her to attract? Please. Everybody has their level. The problem we have is that we want to stay in our level and be choking in another person's level and be telling the person how to live their life. We must stop that.
Completely.
At your level. When we were dating and marrying, Shebi, we married at our level. We did not eat sausage together. Now we're eating the sausage. We grew into the sausage. So I will not expect my children who were born into the sausage to take it down because they want to. They have to be at their level. And that's why rich people like to stay rich and marry rich, to stay in that circle. Medium class people, some of them are lucky to get rich. Some are lucky to just be in the middle. The poor people, I'm not saying they should not aspire, but
the poor will be among us.
Thank you. Don't direct people how to live because you're not there.
Okay. So let's talk about
if your family is talking to you now to tone down.
I'm happy. I get you, because life happens where even though you both marry rich, like you're both very rich, and somebody loses his job, and she also goes through a financial trial or something happened. I know one of my very, very egbon had this thing happen in 2019, lives abroad, and he did a transaction, and they blocked his account for 6 months until he was able to prove why the account was legit. They released the account, but for that 6 months, they had to go from living the creme de la creme life to coming down. And everybody in the relationship must understand this is our reality for now. We will cut it. So as we preach the message of marrying equal minds, it's preach the message that there will be a time when you might need to compromise for marriage to work, for relationships to work. There'll be compromise necessary per time.
When you are in the marriage,
but I must not compromise to the detriment
from the beginning of the marriage.
So what I hear Nima saying is, let us not encourage young people to put the flashness forward. There's this innate character that is also vital. So, for example, because I'm so used to wearing long hair, doing this, doing that, I'm putting that forward. I'm distracting some good people. She's saying that, listen, let us.
The good people will match you, because there's some women like that.
There's some good people with flashy hair.
What BC is saying is that she has a daughter. I know my husband has their cousins. The daughter, he buys the daughter, like the latest, as iPhone 15 came out, he bought for his daughter. His daughter is doing masters in the UK, finished with.
That's a different topic.
So
that's a different topic.
I've given my daughter a lifestyle. She wears the latest human hair, wears the latest phone. My daddy takes care of the girl. So if you want to date this
kind of girl,
you must be ready. Larry Olushola posted taking his daughter for lunch or dinner in UK, and I said, whoever will be marrying Tiwa
will know
ready, because Larry Olushola as a father has consistently given this girl a quality of life. You cannot bring her down. Whenever you will join her.
Okay, here you are correct. There's another school of thought. So, for example, when I was having this debate with my husband's spouse, and we're talking about traveling, because I was insisting that my husband was insisting no, that we're not traveling. You don't want, number one, it's expensive. It's not, but for him, he believes that there's more value in building their character. I was telling you that when my child was going to go and write how did I spend my summer? She was referring to summer that that we took 2 years ago. The one that place that beach you took us to.
La Campagne.
La Campagne. That was the summer my daughter was referring to 2 years ago. My son was referring to the other one.
Landmark.
That was what he wrote for how I spent my summer. He was remembering a year, 2 years ago, and he wrote that. When he brought to an also, Bryce, see your children, they didn't do summer. See,
2 years ago.
I said, it's okay. At least they had one experience. In fact, let them write it for the next 5. It's okay. See, travel, not buying travel with us, you know. So the people are different. It doesn't mean that she will not see a rich person or at that level tomorrow. There are different levels. Doesn't mean that. So when I'm saying like she and whoever else he has exposed, we can still meet the same people at different levels. It's not about your ability to travel, ability to look for.
You have one point where somebody is not traveling, right, and focusing on character. You have another point where that person is traveling and focusing on character.
And they're both the same. They're both equal.
Being rich does not mean that you have bad
character has nothing to do with exactly.
I can have a long bone straight. I can be using
and well behaved.
And I'm very well behaved. I am a charitable person.
Now, wow.
The fact that I'm carrying designer bag does not mean I'm not charitable.
It's our mentality that once you are rich like this, you are bad behaved.
It's a wrong mentality.
You are bad behaved.
Somebody has to marry the rich people.
If I made money, I keep quiet.
I'm not today, please. I don't have energy today.
They are drowning you. Let me shut them up for a second.
I'm not right.
Please,
They are not. But I think they're missing the point.
Okay.
You know, we're still talking about a woman's ability to afford and her choice to tone down, as opposed to a woman just flashy by person, as opposed to that. So I can carry bag. If you see me in the university, the shoes I wore were not my own. I used to raid my auntie's wardrobes. I'm suffering for it. People are paying back. But, you know, raiding wardrobes was a thing. Auntie, this shirt, if I wear it, they will trip. But it's not something you could afford, but you looked the way you wanted to.
Yeah.
But there's also the part of being able to afford something and just being simple. You know, you could have a thin watch that a man cannot easily...
It's maybe $20,000, so nobody would know.
Even know. And my auntie then, I was in my auntie's bag 24/7 because everything there was valuable. And she would just be sitting down there minding her business. The hand chain last summer, if you see it, that's why I want. But the man will not see her.
Gotcha.
And just immediately.
So we're saying the same thing.
Yeah,
we're saying the same thing in different ways. There's one that is yo.
Personality, darling.
And there's one that is moderate.
Somebody will travel and not post video. Me, as I'm living in the airport, I am doing video. It does not mean that
you still travel.
All of us
both of you are traveling.
Exactly. So it is that we must give room for every different personalities that exist. I don't say one is wrong and one is right.
Take the advice that your elders give you.
Yes.
Because what they see sitting down.
You can't
see. Elders are
if you climb a plane, you won't see it. Somebody started this show with her banter, talking about sitting with elders. You can never ever downplay the wisdom they give.
The elders that have.
Let's go to a break. When we come back, we'll take a few comments on social media. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a few comments on social media. Go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Smooth said, a woman is a helpmate, scriptural, just stay there. Ibrahim says, true love still exists. Miss Morales' testimony, love is powerful. And Tosi Omo Ajayi says, my female friend married low. She has been she's having problem now because she was the one taking care of the bills. And now that the man has little, he doesn't drop, so it makes her feel bad every day.
Mount Rushmore says, unfortunately, secure men are very few. Hence, women may have to lower their lifestyle to get available.
That's another perspective.
The insecure man, yes.
You know how many women marry insecure men?
Yes,
even with an
you marry them, but it's hell.
It is
Living
hell.
with an insecure man is a punishment. Like you will serve a lifetime punishment. And the reason I'm saying this is, the reality of life is that every day decisions are being made. And you cannot be making your decisions and then you are over-considering, how will this person feel? How will this person think it? You must be considerate, all right. You must be fair. But if you are having to manage the insecurity of that man, you are living a life under punishment on a daily basis. It's a tough one.
It is.
And I'm going to appeal to anybody that found themselves in that situation that God will help you in your condition, but if you are, before you marry, check that you have married someone that will not be worried when they see you. Men, we are on TV. Nima, I know you and I are on the same page. I believe in being humble. I believe in being grounded. But we are on TV. People see me on TV. Men will meet me on the road and want to take a picture with me. Imagine being married to an insecure man. The man is looking at me and he would take me off TV. He would take me off being able to be myself. He would be uncomfortable with a man taking picture with me. Some men would just come and meet me and put their hand on my shoulder. I don't like being hugged, especially by men. Then you will put your hand on my shoulder just take a selfie with me. And my husband will stand and hold the phone and take a picture. You must marry a secure man. If not,
Nothing beats that.
Punishment.
Let me take this call from Princess
Nothing
calling from
beats that.
Ikorodu. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Good morning. You kept me waiting, no? Good morning.
Morning, Princess.
You kept me waiting for over 2 minutes.
So sorry. I'm so sorry, Prince. I do apologize.
It's all right. I so much love the program this week. I got married to my husband when he had nothing. Now, we built together. So he believes we are getting it or he has arrived. Now he's telling me that he married me because of my family sword.
Family?
Yeah. My family sword, my family issue. That he didn't love me is only the wealth. Like, he told me, and he went straight to our pastor and told the pastor. Pastor was like, how can you say you got married to your wife because of their wealth? That you don't love, he doesn't, you don't know love, said he doesn't love me. Now he's threatening me that he wants to get married to a second wife. And we built together. So when you see ladies planning for their future without carrying men along, you don't blame them. I'm talking from experience. He had nothing when we married. So what you say to that? What advice do you give me?
Thank you very much, Princess. Over to you, Nima.
In fact, my hand full. I've seen cases like this. In fact, one I did about 6 years ago was the mother of the girl suffered, the fate of our last caller. And so her daughter too was as industrious as she was. Even though she found love, the mother was in that marriage, influencing so that the couple, as a couple, could not do any investment together. Every investment the girl ever did in that marriage, even if the husband had an input and said, let's do this, well, she would say, okay, when she does it, it will be with her mom. And so it puts the couple apart. So we've seen some of these things. So when a woman is now planning their life, not the lifestyle, planning a future and looking at the status of a man, it's expected. It's the way to go. You don't want to get there. As I said earlier, it's a matter of burning firewood and dry leaf. You cannot be a leaf, dry or wet, and go and allow a man who is carrying flame to touch you. You will go down. See the situation now, because he would have maybe disguised to her. His idea was, okay, let me just marry this woman. She's packaged well. And then when you get inside, you do not find it. You start to accuse her of things that you cannot explain.
We've discussed the issue of why do people get married. We discussed before, like the real reasons why people. We need to really one of these is where we have to discuss it.
Like
but let me take this call. Yakub is calling. Good morning, Yakub.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morayo, let me say this before I bring my own thought to this topic. And then yesterday you brought one guest to the studio yesterday. I think we really need the man back to the studio. Because I really learned a lot yesterday, even though the time is not much.
We're bringing him back.
Do all what you can to bring the man back. I say I will be around that day. So having said that, Morayo, let me even start from you. I'm very happy for you that you got married to, I give him name now today, Dr. Brown. Because watching you guys on even Facebook, I learned a lot from you guys. Because you see, that day that you say you have Prado, if I don't make a mistake, then, and then your husband walks to your house, and then he picks you with his own car. And then deep down in you really don't want to enter that car because you feel like, okay, why can't we carry my Prado and then let's go to where we are going? But you know why?
because you have a very good family.
Yeah.
I give that kudos to your family. I've been heard about Akabat or this one. Then, back then, Moraya, I know that your father is a very good man that taught you all this. And then I give kudos to your mother as well, because your mother will even call you in. Why can't you let him carry your car? Don't enter that car. And then that's the end of on the journey. So where will you be today? I didn't be that you disagree with him then, that I can't enter your car. And then I know this
Mr. Yakub.
Dr. Brown.
Thank you very much for your comments.
He will tell you that if you cannot enter this car, let's end this relationship.
Thank you very much, Yakub. Let me clarify something.
Let us get to marry to someone that has confidence. That is just it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's something that BC said I'd like us to really highlight. You see, our time is different. Times have changed. Things are changing. A young girl in my shoes today that is in my shoes when I was younger, I wouldn't probably advise her the same thing, because there are different factors, there are different things we have to consider. Back then, it was slightly different from this time around, I would say. I know it wasn't easy. Trust me, I'm not going to pretend like I was, oh my goodness, such a humble girl, and it was a struggle. I mean, the first time when I went to I think it was in my book. The first time when I went into his apartment,
yeah,
I couldn't sit down. I'm like, I am not sitting here, because it's two boys, bachelors, just living in a room. I'm like, I am not staying here. But eventually, I go home. I go, someone say, it's not gonna happen. 1 minute, okay, like, you know how women are. My mother's like, that's your husband. So people are different stories. And some, just like the story of the lady that called, she fell in love with a man who married her for her wealth. And then fast forward, see what she's going through. So it's never one way fits all. Everybody's story is different. Mine is different. Others might be different. You might do exactly what I did. And you're going to enter one chance. And the man will just be home being a couch potato, doesn't do anything, he's not ambitious. Mine, by God's grace, he has confidence, and he's been able to build himself.
So that's why I say it's good that elders advise. But not every advice is for you. And you as a woman or a man must hear from, if you're a Christian, you must hear from the Holy Spirit. If you are not a Christian, you must listen to your intuition. You must listen to your gut. Because some of these red flags that would come up later is shown at the beginning of the relationship. But because love has covered one of your eyes, you will love is blind. He'll change. He's just insecure now because he doesn't have money. He'll be all right. By the time he gets into the house, things will change. And you get there and you're struggling and enduring that marriage. So sometimes we assume because we are moving on, it's 10 years, it's 20 years, it's 30 years. The marriage is working. Hello? Is it really working? Is somebody in that marriage enduring, but they don't want to say anything because society will paint it that, you have left your marriage, you are a bad person. A lot of people are enduring the marriages.
Absolutely.
We don't know. We come out, we post pictures, it's 20 years today. Hey, you have tried, well done.
Yeah, struggling.
Is that you are struggling. Sometimes when you have real conversations with these people, you find that they just had to struggle because of what people would say. And they stay there, and they don't wish the same for their children or for the next generation. So you, as you are taking advice, you must listen to yourself. You can have somebody appear as a very poor person, and the person's destiny is so bright that you hear, when we met our own, it's not like there was anything, they didn't have anything, but we heard from our soul that this is the person I'm going to do this work with. If you're in marriage and anything happens, maybe the money goes tomorrow and all of that, you sit tight, because you are in that road with your friend. Whatever the world throws at us, me and you, we fight it. But I don't want to be fighting from the beginning when I'm making my selection. That will be too much work for me.
Let me take Chief Agu. Thanks for calling, sir. You're live.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
How are you people today?
Very well.
We are fine, sir.
Okay. I have listened to some of the people who spoke. I want to also say that marriage is a special gift from God.
Yeah.
You can see what happened in those days. The things that was in the beginning is now, and forever shall it be. The time of Sarah. Sarah so loved the husband, Abraham, that even at a fault, that she called the husband my Lord.
Yeah.
But today it doesn't happen. Remember too, that Jacob married two sisters, he was a shepherd. He was not big man. He was servant. And he got married because marriage is an ordination from God. If it were to be because of his wealth, he wouldn't have married those two sisters, Rachel and Rhea. So I want to say that before we continue to talk, we should know that it's only God who can ordain a marriage. And when we say he has married somebody because of his wealth or her wealth, it is a contract marriage. It's not marriage from God.
Right.
I also want to say today that so many women, not men alone, you're talking about men. There are men that brought up women today from nothing, train them. They go to a level. Today, they're domineering. They don't want to hear of the husband. Let me say, from Port Harcourt here, where I'm staying, there are women who form a club. You know, their club is just club for big women, and then they say what will happen. Some of them have lost their husband because they wanted the men to go. If they hypnotize their husband, and the husband can behave like their boy, then they will be happy. But if they are unable, they eliminate the men so that they will be there at the top.
Thank you, Chief Agu.
So I want to say that why can't we change and follow the step of Sarah in those days?
Thank you, Chief Agu. Let me let you go because you really raised an important angle that we've not looked at in a very long time. Men who raise women up, train you, educate you, lift you up, now you're wealthy, you're successful. And you now get to this level where you're now joining women groups, you're now going to all these your Larry conferences, and you're now having all this boldness. And maybe the man is not so educated, he's just a businessman, he's been doing money. You now believe that you know better. And your eyes are open, you're now enlightened, you're now discontent with your husband at home. That's what he's saying.
So that's one of when we started the show, I mentioned that listening from older people to understand about marriage and parenting. And this conversation, Reverend Funke Felix Adejimo mentioned to us, he said, as women get more empowered, the casualty in line will be their marriages. And that women need to be intentional, that you don't lose your marriage because you are getting financially empowered. How does that happen? From the get-go, you must marry smart, you must marry a confident person, and you must be willing to grow together. There is nothing like your wife is attending several trainings and you are sitting down at home. You can't do that. Your wife is reading books and going for masters and PhD. You are sitting down at home. You can't do that. As a woman is growing, a man must also develop himself.
I'm 20 years older than her. I don't want to grow. I am fine where I am.
We interviewed a man yesterday.
That is him. He's one out of plenty.
It's normal that we are growing ourselves. There are many conferences for women. We must have more conferences for men. And even at that, women need to understand that submitting does not diminish you. The fact that they are asking you to submit to a man, it doesn't mean you are less. Listening to him when he has told you something you know does not mean you are less. Listening with patience. There was a drama that happened with me and my husband. He was telling me to do something. I had done it, but I did not say I had done it. Before I'll have given him back that I've done it already since yesterday. Thank God for Reverend Funke Felix. When he was telling me, I nodded and said, okay, I'll do it. But I had done it the day before. Before I'll have told him I had done it. But I didn't give him back that reply. I let him take the glory of he's advising me, not rub it in his face to say, what you're advising me, I know it, I've done it, I'm too smart. That is wisdom. That is submission. That does not diminish me in any way. It doesn't make him, and I don't get glory for making him feel like I'm smarter than him. We must get that.
We have to wrap up. Let's take a few comments and then I'll let Nima get the last word here because she'll be quiet.
That can go sideways.
Okay, so,
you can also patiently, sweetheart, can also say that, oh, okay. Do you actually know that I did it yesterday?
Hey.
And yes. No. So it's also his confidence to say that, oh, well done. We think alike. And we move on. Why do I have to lie to you?
Not lie.
Because
I not lie.
Wait, Tina, let us hear. Let's understand.
Let's just be
This issue
ourselves.
of women growing and men not growing and not growing together. Me, I'm tired of
hearing
the
it.
way it costs marriages. Just as Pastor
Funke
Felix Adejimo said, you're growing. Does it take you away your respect? I am a person keen on respect. I love being respected. So what is the difference? What is the cost of giving it back? If I'm growing, my language, my tone with my husband is loving, is respectful. Oh, have you done something? Oh, thank you. as you're growing, you're keeping that respect. So your growth is not a threat. You're not saying, oh, I can't listen. I'm no longer at that level. Your growth will be his joy. It will not be a threat. It will not be that, is this growth going to cost me the woman I married? So recently I heard something, I said, my husband said, this is not the Nima I married. I was like, what changed? This has always been the Nima you married. And it was like, something changed. I sat down on that issue. I thought about it. I don't want to be someone you will not be able to love, but I want to grow.
Yeah.
So what are the things that he loves?
Yes, how do we meet ourselves halfway? But I have to wrap up. But you see, you guys just started a whole topic.
Yes, so
you said it's wisdom. You say it's lie. It's a good topic to talk about because they are telling us to be wise. Use wisdom. You are saying, say it as it is. So it's a topic for another day. Or we'll say, let's put it in the cooler and discuss it another day. Let's take a few comments and we wrap up.
Okay, the general says, my wife is doing her PhD now and her friend is in the same bank where she works, was prevented by her husband to do just a master's. People praise me for allowing her to go this far. But the kid says, a woman, no matter how attractive, should always have substance to her. Even if a man sees her as extravagant, if he is bold enough to engage her, she should have more than looks. Marrying an insecure man, though, is a different headache. Goke Isiba says, hello, ladies. You are all correct. Single ladies with rich background, good jobs can live lush. If you've got it, flaunt it. But for ladies who are not from wealthy homes and doesn't have good jobs, they will never be respected.
We have to wrap up. I think that's all we can take. But, you know, I remember somebody was saying that let the single ladies breathe. Allow us to be. Don't all this pressure of you have to do this. Don't drive this car. Don't wear this clothes. Please allow them to live their lives. Things are different. Men are more enlightened now. Hopefully they can respect a woman and disregard all the packaging and get to know her for who she is, because there are lots of women, good women out there, and there's some good men out there too. So let's not judge. I think that's really what we're saying. Let's not judge. Let's make the effort of getting to know people. People are where they are. You meet them where they are. If you have enough confidence, if you have 2,000 naira in your account and you know you can get it 10,000 naira babe, please step up the plate and go ahead. If she says no, pata, you go back home and look for somebody else. You say no is no. So let us be confident in who we are and be able to express ourselves to whomever we choose to. I think that's all we can take on this show. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.